Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. In particular, welcome to PCP Movie Night. And even more specifically, welcome to the final PCP Movie Night for March Madness 2024, kicking off the end of March Madness here on Pop Culture Philosophers with a look at 2007's Spiral, which is directed by Joel David Moore, or as we like to call him around here, JT, and Adam Green, who we mostly know from the Hatchet series of films. Very excited to talk about this one, Spiral. It was streaming on Tubi. There was no excuse. Somebody's even put the whole film up on YouTube. But I got the Blu-ray. It's got Shazam in it. It's got the woman that I always think is Carey Mulligan, I think, which is Amber Tamblyn, and Joel David Moore, who is the co-director, co-writer, and of course the star of the film. So everybody on the panel tonight has never seen this movie except for me and one other person, including Jelani. Never seen this movie. What's up, March Madness? Spiral, welcome.
That's right, Station Brothers. Man, it's good to be here. We'll talk about it. I got some notes for this one. But
I bet you do. You always got some notes. Speaking of having some notes, this dude never took notes in high school and passed with a C average. It's Brooks. What is up, my man?
What's up?
First time watch for you as well.
Yep, I'd never heard of this one.
Most people never heard of it. In fact, everybody kept being confused that it was the Saw film, including Stu, who is here, who once again, even though I made sure to very much tell everybody it's not the one with Chris Rock, this motherfucker messages me this morning. You talking about the one from 2019, right? I was like, is this dude fucking with me?
I thought I was being clever. Yep. Thank you for setting me straight. Thank you, Manny, who also, I sent out multiple messages trying to make sure I was on the same page. So yeah. Thank you.
That would have been really embarrassing if you showed up and you're like ready to talk about that Chris Rock movie. And
that's exactly what
ago, bro.
When I saw the opening credits, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I watched a great movie tonight.
Now, the only other person on the panel who has seen this film before is, of course, the missing Link himself. Steph, what is up, Link? How you doing?
Fellas, how's it going?
It's going well, going
Good,
well.
brother.
And I believe a first-time watch for our man, who had such a great show yesterday, ranking the Exorcist films and giving the proper love and respect to Exorcist 3 that it deserves as the second best psychological thriller of the 90s. It's our man, Manny from Nerdtastic News. What is up, my man?
Station, brother, station. The devil made me do it, to be honest with you. The devil made me do it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. All right. Let's get into this little film. Like when I put together the March Madness list this year, I really wanted to. I have something that popped up on my thing and I can't get rid of it. What is going on? All right, let's just ignore that. All right, so when I did the lineup for March Madness, I wanted to pick something that I thought not a lot of people had known about or talked about, right? In fact, I only found out about this movie when early on in Dylan's horror show, when it was just me and him, right? We came up with a bunch of ideas and we were doing director spotlights. We did Stuart Gordon and we did Eli Roth and we did Adam Green. So it made me go through and watch every Adam Green film that I've never seen. I watched Frozen for the first time. That was an awesome movie. I watched Digging Up the Marrow for the first time, Chillerama for the first time, and Spiral. And the movie initially blew me the fuck away. So I was really excited. I was like, yeah, let's get everybody to check out this movie. Not a lot of people know about it. If you look it up on YouTube, you're not going to find much for it. I don't know if it's because a lack of content or the fucked up algorithm where it just keeps putting the Chris Rock Spiral film out there, right? There's apparently only one film named Spiral, but this was 2007, co-directed by Adam Green and Joel David Moore. Joel David Moore, of course, is the star of the film. When I first watched it, it blew me away. On the second watch, I liked it a little bit less, but I still really did enjoy it, mostly because of Joel David Moore's performance. His performance is amazing. I think Zachary Levi is fine in the movie. I think Amber Tamblyn is great in the movie. I like the film. I really do enjoy it, and I think it fits the bill for March Madness because this is a movie that does deal with a particular madness. I think it's got some decent music in it. I think it's kind of stylized for what it is. And I do enjoy this film and I still stand by it. So what about you, Jelani? First time watching, what did you think about 2007 Spiral, not starring Chris Rock.
Well, the Spiral with Chris Rock, that one kind of blows. This one, I'm kind of mixed on. I don't know. It's like, because I saw the twist. If there was gonna be a twist, I saw the twist coming, and I knew that there would be false twist. Because I don't know, the killer guy. Because I'm saying he's a killer because he basically is. And I do want to ask a question to the group. He did kill like all of those other women, right? He's pretty much been killing this time.
It's up to you, man.
Yeah, I don't really say one way or the other.
Yeah, it one way or the other. It's kind of weird that I don't know. I think this movie has a lot of crimes. One of the crimes is it's incredibly slow to get to its premise, like to get to the meat of what's going on. I think most of the main things that happen, or the thing that drives this movie, is the third act. Third act pretty much is driving it, but it's slowed down by the first two. It's just the same repetitive day over and over, and he's meeting Amber Tamlin for the first time, and he's doing all this stuff with her, but it's still slow to me. It's kind of like a slog to me. But then when you get to that twist, or that kind of twist, and then the twist, it still kind of throws me off. I don't know what it is. Zachary Levi's okay in it. He's just the dirtbag, dickbag kind of guy.
Playing a good dude, bro. Right?
He's a good dude. Like, he's a dude, bro. He's a bros before hoes, bro. Kind of pretty much.
Yeah.
But he, at the same time, like I didn't understand it until the third act. I didn't get why he was so protected.
Well, I think the conversation with one of his partners or whatever kind of elaborates on that. Plus, my favorite thing about his performance, and it's a little subtle, but maybe you noticed it. He talks about how good his shot is, how he needs to teach this dude basketball. He never makes one.
Never makes a shot.
He never makes it.
Never makes one. So it's a mixed bag for me, to be honest. It was just it's okay, but it's not great. It doesn't have that because another thing too, and I do want to get this out. If you see the red flags that he's crazy, why do you keep talking to him? Why do we keep, unless we're talking to him to get some help? Like, he's crazy from the beginning of this movie to the end of this movie. There's no change. You know what I'm saying? There's no growth. He falls in love, but it's still crazy. And it's still it's weird. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of disjointed for me. I think if it needs to be written a little better for me to like be, oh yeah, hell yeah. This is what's a twist? I knew this because I saw the twist coming a mile away because the guy's crazy immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my
Well, I like how they play with your idea. To me, they play with the idea of, is he crazy? Is he not? And then when you find out, oh, he's crazy, but it's like, it's a different level. But then very quickly, they're like, no, it's actually what you thought all along. So that is a weird twist. And I think what really kind of throws me off about the movie, especially on the second watch, is the random CW style musical montage in the middle of the movie.
Please.
We'll talk about that. So you're a little lukewarm about it right now. What about you, Brooks? What did you think of Spiral from 2007, not part of the Saw franchise?
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was a pretty interesting movie, to be honest. And I like the double twist because, like, early on, I thought, they're going to do the Fight Club twist where, like, he's just making this girl up in his head. And, like, he is just, fucking, like, he's just kind of, like, making his own world or whatever.
The case. Yeah.
Yeah. But then they hit me with the double twist at the end. And I'm like, I didn't see that coming. So it was nice. It's nice to be surprised sometimes. To think you're like, oh, I got it. And then, like, no, you didn't. No, I didn't. So, yeah, I thought it was, like if for nothing else, just that little feeling was pretty nice.
All right, nice. It pleasantly surprised you.
Yeah, and I loved old JP. Like, I think he's a criminally underused actor.
He's great. He's in Adam Green's film Hatchet, right? He's the main character in the
first Avatar movie, isn't he?
Is he? I don't remember that movie, bro.
Yeah, I think he was one of like the
trying to
science guys.
I got super high before that movie, and I just remember the lights and the cool 3D. Like, I thought the story sucked, to be honest with you. I was like, I've seen Pocahontas. I've seen Dances with Wolves. I've seen The Last Samurai. Come
They're
on.
blue, dude.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I'd rather have watched the Smurfs in 3D. Actually, no. I'm just kidding. Like, no. That movie was a little long, though. I think that's more draggy than this one, and not in a good way. What about you, Stu? This was your first time watching Spiral, not the one that's part of the James Wan Saw franchise. What did you think about Spiral?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was well paced from the beginning. Even through the slower parts of the film, I found myself intrigued. I thought we got really great performances from Joel David Moore and Amber Tamblyn. I thought they both did a great job. Levi was okay, but regardless, I thought those two really carried the film and made you invested. I'm glad. I love Homeboy and Grandma's Boy personally as like the Neo dressed. How did he see me? Like so many hilarious scenes in that movie.
He's in Dodgeball, right?
Yeah. He's great in Dodgeball. Yeah. But I loved it. I thought like the use of the scenery, like his apartment, the office space, like I thought that was really well done. It always felt drab. It never felt like bright. It was always like it always felt overcast. I love the use of the rain, the power flickering, the music was dope. I thought it had a lot of cool devices to keep you hooked and strung along. And I thought the twist at the end was okay, but regardless, I really enjoyed this movie start to finish. I thought it was fire.
Hell yeah! And if I would have watched it in 2007, I would have been like, "This is fucking brilliant." In fact, when I first watched it, I thought it was brilliant. I mean, it may be a little bit less so this time, but I still do enjoy the movie. So I'm glad that you and Brooks liked it. What about you, Steph? You've seen this movie before. What'd you think, Link?
I'm with you. My first watch, I think I enjoyed it just a little bit more on this watch, but I still enjoyed it overall. It's interesting you bring up the year because I feel like I probably would have appreciated it had I seen it back then, but I almost feel like this movie is a little dated in a sense, in this fact that he's portrayed as more like just crazy, But I kind of was like, on my second watch, I was looking at it from the fact that he's on the spectrum, and he just never got the help he needed from that traumatic event he dealt with as a child. And, people just kind of wrote him off as some quirky, weird guy, not thinking like, maybe there's something, even Zachary Levi tried, Zachary Levi was actually really solid. He pretty much played himself, but you can tell he was concerned, but he was overall a douchebag. Like his approach was
okay, I'm sorry, bro. I wish I could take that back. I wish I could change that for you.
He was just an asshat.
Yeah,
but
it made me wonder if who really killed who. Like, was it really the dad or was it? Yeah, because that was the first thing.
Really.
I think a good twist on this movie would have been Zachary Levi killing these women and covering it up, or covering up the murders, right? Like that would have been a cool twist too.
I thought it was the accomplice. I really did. Like throughout the end of the movie, I was like, Zachary Levi helped. He was like he helped out a lot. You know what I'm saying? But
he knew about it.
Yeah.
Facts. I thought they were brothers for 3/4 of the movie until we got towards the end. I didn't realize that they weren't related.
Yeah. And he was way too. He acts like a brother,
he
very
really
protective brother.
They must be
you don't kick
childhood
Trisha Helfer out of the house. You don't kick Trisha Helfer out of the house. I'm sorry. She was in Battlestar Galactica. You don't kick her out the house. And
yes, she baby. So say we all.
I'm like, I'm sorry. You can stay. We'll talk this out. Oh no, son.
Yeah, she looked great in that red dress, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost feel like the film goes out of its way to portray the dude as a weirdo instead of someone who's actually it does tell us he's dealt with trauma, but even the more intimate scenes with him, it just kind of he showcases being kind of an oddball, he's just odd, but they don't really show what's behind those ticks or anything. It's still a good film, but I feel like it's dated in that sense. But it's got some fine performances. I do love. I think Amber Tamblyn. I think she did a fantastic job. I really felt her. So I felt like she really was trying to reach out to him, and she could tell something was wrong with him and break through with him. It's just unfortunately shit played out how it did.
I can fix
But
it.
she felt very torn, and I think that was a good performance. But interesting film overall. I liked it the first watch a little bit more though, but it's still a solid film.
All right. Manny, your first time watching, right? What'd you think?
This maybe in 2007 I may have really appreciated this movie. It's just I don't know, man. I think Joker did it better. It's a similar thing, and it feels like a film that was written from the back to the front. So they knew they had a twist. They knew they had a specific twist they wanted to do. They knew they had a clever secondary twist to that. And then they wrote that scene and then just muddled their way through the rest of it. And I appreciate the performances. I think there's some solid filmmaking when we get into style and structure that I think was really good. But I just don't think the film is boring for 2/3 of it, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, and that might not be your opinion, and that doesn't make your opinion wrong. It just makes my opinion more correct. So it is what it is. So
Well, I appreciate that, but I do think you're wrong. I do think the structure of the film's solid. Like I get what you and Jelani are saying, I guess, but I didn't pick that up. Like even on my rewatch, I think the movie is paced very well. It does not overstay its welcome. It gets right to it. I enjoy the film. I enjoy the look. Like I think one of the reasons maybe why I enjoyed it less on the second watch is because once you know the twist, there's like not too much in there that you can re-enjoy. Like when you're watching it, like right? Like sometimes like in Sixth Sense, and you watch that movie the second time, you start going, "Oh shit, that makes sense. He can't pick up the key. Oh shit, she's never talking to him during the dinner." All this kind of, and this one, there's the one scene when the dude's like getting his ticket and he's like, "So just the one then?" And that's like to lean you to this. But I actually really do like it. I like this film. I think it's got a tight structure. I think the style is really solid. So Adam Green is known for the Hatchet franchise, right? He's known for this like new school approach to old school slashers. And the Hatchet films are fucking gnarly and awesome, and I love them. But movies like this and Frozen to me show a little bit more of what Adam Green is actually capable of. Now, I saw somebody, I think in the chat, said maybe it ran a little too long. Could have been better as an anthology episode. I get that vibe from it too, right? But I think it actually has an emotional core, and I love the way that this film kind of brings us into the character of who is the main character? Mason. I think that we kind of get into Mason and feel bad for him, even though we think he's a serial killer. We eventually get kind of waned out of that, right? And then that reveal happens at the end. Oh, it's all in his head. Then the extra surprise that no, he did kill this chick. It is real. I like that, and I love the style. I think for Adam Green and Joel David Moore, and Adam Green has been on record saying that he really regrets that he allowed Joel David Moore to have co-directing credit. It was just something that happened at the time. Like, yeah, we're making this movie together. And then after the fact, he's like, damn, I'm actually proud of this movie. I wish this was just an Adam Green movie, just kind of being tongue in cheek. But I think it's got style, and I think it's got style from early filmmakers, right? That really shows a lot of promise. This movie was made probably for fucking nothing. You know what I'm saying? You could tell it. Like they use only certain locations. Yeah. They only have like 4 actors in the movie, basically, like mainly just 3, right? But there's like a couple other people there. But I think it dives a little deeper into some other themes that help elevate the movie just a little bit for me. I think this is elevated horror, right? A24 would totally make this today. But I did like the style, and I did like the structure. What about you, Jelani? Style and structure, go.
Well, I mean, it's stylish. it does have the color palette that you're talking about before. It makes a good statement of how drab it's supposed to be and what the character is going through, which is basically I'm sad because I've been killing all these people, but I like drawing, and I really love jazz. It's stuff like that in the movie. I do like the chemistry with Amber Tamblyn and JT. I will call him JT. The rest of this, they do present like
JP, right? JP,
like a quirky couple, and he won't answer questions. It's still weird though. She tries to ask him questions, he just won't answer them. He's odd, but he's odd in that way. Like, you need to get some help, dog. Like, you are on the spectrum. You got to do something about this. This autism thing you got going on needs to be addressed. And
there was one scene. My bad. You just reminded me, but it ties into you. It was like odd. It was it kind of reminded me of a grandma's boy scene, is where he's like, he said something and she's like, who? Because he just said, he's like, she shouldn't have done it, or he shouldn't have done it. She's like, who shouldn't have done it? He's just like turns his head or something, like super dramatic, and she's like, who, motherfucker? Like, it just reminded me of like grandma's boy, or like,
naked. Talk to me. You know what I'm saying? It's so weird. But I understand. There's so many red flags. There's so many just little things that she should have picked up on to say that, I'm going to be nice to him, but I'm not going to eat sandwiches with him every day. I can't get close to him. Right. Be like, can I paint you? I'm like, no, son. No, I'm good. I'm good, bro. But the paintings looked amazing. All the painting, all the artwork in this movie looked great. I love the jazz postcards. I like what is that?
I was just doing the painting thing that he always does.
When he was painting. Oh, okay. I was like,
sorry, this is my weed vape. Don't worry about it. It's the man behind the curtain. Ignore it.
Yeah. So it's just these little things in this movie that like, it would be good. Like, if they made this now, but they work it up without being woke. But there are little things that are in this movie that could work for me if they just tighten up a few things. I don't know. The repetitiveness of him going to work every day and doing the things, it felt like the same day was going on over and over again.
But I think that's one of the points, Jelani. I think that's one of the points of the movie, is about this monotonous existence that a lot of people.
He's like an office worker,
a call center worker, actually, right? Jelani, you had that job.
I've had that job.
You know how that feels.
I hate that job, but even
Jelani's like, I'm triggered by this movie.
I've been.
Every time I see work drones like that, I'm like, I do get triggered. But at least there were fights at work. At least people were fighting either in the parking lot or in the thing. So it makes me feel better. I'm like, oh, okay. There's a reason I'm sitting in this stupid office. Somebody's going to fight because they fought like idiots. So, and it was great. But it was like the Jerry Springer show every other day. So that's what is missing from this movie. Sometimes you need a Jerry Springer fight. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I can vibe with that. What do you think about this? And chill out, man. That's the right Frozen, by the way. That's Adam Green's Frozen. That movie is fucking awesome.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
It's a different Frozen.
Not Disney.
It's not the Disney Frozen.
Iceman.
This isn't the Saw Spiral. What's up with Adam Green making movies that other bigger films are gonna fucking
take the
name for, man? Like, to copyright this shit, dude. What's wrong with you? Brooks, Style and Structure. What do you think?
I like this movie style. It does feel a little long sometimes, but like it is like I like the setup, like, and the kind of suspense that comes with it, because like I really do, like, I relate to the main character a lot, and like how
that's
he's
problematic.
Socially...
Say, brother, let's be honest.
Yeah.
This dude's a killer of women.
Well, it's like he's it's just
I relate
socially
to this
awkward.
dude.
He has a hard time relating to people. He's obsessed with these like things that other people don't care about.
Yeah.
And like he meets somebody who like is willing to like try and connect with him. And like it's like I don't know, because like like when I saw, there was a scene where like when they're sitting on the bench and like it's almost like they have the same hair color, and it looks almost like supposed to be like a mirror image. I thought it was going to be like a Fight Club ending, but like the relation, like just watching the relationship between these two people is like it's like weird, and it's like you're kind of like nervous, like man, but at the same time like it has like these really kind of almost like cutesy moments between them.
Yeah.
It's like they actually are they do have a rapport, they have like a certain chemistry. And like I kind of like the double twist at the end, that like it tells like like it lets you feel smart for a second before being like, oh no, dumbass.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
And I appreciate you being real with us, man. I wasn't trying to make a joke about your relation to the movie, like relating to the character. That's totally fine. Brooks is not a serial killer that I know. Brooks, by the way, if you came out and you were a serial killer, you're not allowed on the channel anymore, just so you know.
I'd
Like,
get
I'm
canceled.
going to have to make a hard stance against you if that's what actually happens. I like Easy Dick's comment here. Adam Green's next cinematic masterpiece coming in 2024. Forrest Gump. No, wait,
Gump.
not that Forrest Gump. No, he does these movies first. That's the thing. Spiral was before Saw Spiral. Frozen was before Disney's Frozen.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. Anyway, what about you, Stu? Style and structure, what'd you think?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought, I thought it had some like great moments in that sense. I love the pervading sense of jazz, like how, it anchors the movie like with this musicality, but also like that scene where he's walking with her and describing how it's like, carnal in the same sense, like you're building it all up to tear it down. I love how that kind of like wove its way through the plot line. I thought like stylistically it was fantastic. From like I just said, the music to like the settings, like you guys said, the office space was like so cold and clinical. And I loved how like they introduced Tamblyn, talking about like I felt like I have to like make out with an 8th grader to sit at the pool table and stuff like that. I felt it was very relatable in that sense, and like you could definitely engage with this girl, and the scene with them feeding ducks and her kind of just being silly and him just kind of falling for it. I thought those were very natural, authentic scenes, and I thought it did a lot to, and just small bits, develop the character and pull you in, have you more invested. So it worked for me. Like, I hear what you guys are saying where it was slow and boring in some parts, but for me, the intrigue, I was always, ever since I saw that dripping hand in the opening scene, I was waiting in the bright room. I was waiting to get my explanation, and that never really went away. That drove my interest throughout the movie. So I thought it was well done as far as style structure.
Hell yeah. What about you, Link? What are you thinking?
I think it was solid. I definitely think it was a little monotonous. Maybe it's what the movie was trying to incite at certain points. But I was never it dragged a little bit at certain parts, but I was never to the point like, all right, man, come on now, like what's going on right now. I did like the jazz music. I think that was a cool addition or effect. Like when when he, in certain scenes when he's getting overstimulated or overwhelmed, like the jazz is like kind of like going crazy, and like the sax is like, I don't know what they call that. It was like freestyling almost. Like there's really no rhythm or to the percussion or anything. It's just sound, and I think it like definitely emulates his emotional state, at that point in time. Like, but
Yeah.
Overall, it was solid, But I definitely couldn't be mad at someone who found this, where it dragged just a little bit. But yes, it wasn't smooth jazz, sir. It's very chaotic.
That's a nice little
smooth
bit right there.
jazz.
What about you, Manny? What do you think about the smooth jazz of the style and structure in this film?
Yep.
I didn't care much for
You're kind of in and out, man.
There we go. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
There we go. All right. Beginning
That's
of
the best version of the Mike bit I've ever seen.
Oh, the all right.
I
Now
tried once.
recomposing my thoughts here. There's moments to build character, and that's all well and good. My issue with the first 2/3 of this film is just a lot of showing us about this character stuff we already know, stuff that we don't need that much time to understand. I would have almost preferred that a lot of the info dump we got from Zachary Levi at the very end of the film would have just been more sprinkled through the beginning of the film. Like even watching through parts of this film a second time, I didn't really connect the grave scenes with his mom. I would have, if his victimology would have been based around his mother, and if he had some sort of gripping, like my father was a good man type of moments, maybe we could have seen where this disconnect is, why he's got this schizophrenic reactions, and why he gets these panics about elves, all these things that I didn't really, it's hard to connect dots when it is just a cacophony of just this guy being schizophrenic. I mean, the film has a lot of weird stretches. The guy looks like Ron Weasley, weird stretched out, like he was put in a taffy puller machine. That's what the guy looks like. He looks like Adam Driver's less attractive brother, and that there's a lot of shit that could have been covered in this film that wasn't
like Ron
covered.
Weasley, weird stretched out. Oh my
You're
god!
so right, bro.
Adam
It's
Driver's
so
less
right.
attractive brother is fired too. though.
He's
Oh,
like
dude.
Mr. Fantastic Ron Weasley.
Yes.
He's just like Plastic Man or some shit.
And-
Like, oh
and-
my god! I
and-
don't know why that's cracking me up.
And I understand that going to low blows like that shows that I'm out of my depth as a reviewer talking about this, because I have to relate to humor, because there is so much competency in the filmmaking. The style and structure of this film's good. Color palette is phenomenal. Subdued colors really speak to the subdued state of Mason. It gets vibrant when it has to. The blood in this pops off of the screen.
Yeah, that's
right?
like the only I love that he's an artist, but like the only thing that really pops is the blood. Like
And that's the thing, because that's what's jumping out at you. That's what they want you to see. They want that twist to really, really pop. So anytime
they're holding
he's
back red.
bleeding-
They're holding back red in this film, except for those, right? The
Yeah.
paint and the blood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And again, muted because Mason's also lonely and somber and melancholy. I mean, it works. Jeff Lemire blew his load every time he saw Mason's story arc in this film. Like it was right there. Camera work. I thought camera work was really well done. Just from like going to something like Hatchet, and then coming to this and seeing these long, drawn out, deliberate shots. They're the slow camera movements. It makes you feel uneasy. It makes you wait. You're waiting for something that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I thought that was super effective, especially when they intercut just those tiny little bits, when they do that sudden, vivid images. All of that works. I think that it's a really well done film packaged that way. I think that the use of music, aside from two parts in this film, is really well done. We'll talk about music when we get to that point, but jazz was just really smart because it does feel raw. It does feel in the moment.
This movie would be completely different if he just loved like bluegrass, for instance.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. It'd be a Coen Brothers film then. It was, but it was, there's so much good in the technical filmmaking. I wish that the story for me, and remember, this is just my opinion, it's the right one, but it's mine. And it is that it just needed something in those first two acts to really set it over the edge. But yeah, other than that, the film's competently made. I think everything's well done. There's plenty of symbolism, things to unpack. It's just that it's too much time being spent on shit we don't need to know, or that we already know. We just don't need that much of it.
All right, so we talked about this movie having good performances. right? So let's dive into those. And I really feel bad for Link and Manny because there's 3 characters in this movie. So Jelani, start us off. What's the performance you want to highlight?
Dude, I'll be nice. I'm gonna pick the dude bro supervisor guy. I'm not picking Zachary Levi. I'm picking his friend, the one that toward the end. He was the one that I guess JT walked over to and asked, "What's the R2090 form? I need to have that help." And he's like, "What? What do you want?" You know, and then he's like, "Go away." Like, I don't care. And by the way, I would be that guy at work. Like, I'll help you. I'm kidding. But
He's just trying to get to that promotion to the next floor, bro.
He wanted to get to the next floor. He's doing his job, and this meek character is coming to him asking him for something, and he's just like, "Fuck off, man. Just go be somewhere. I'm not." You know, he just has that whole thing, and plus he opens up the second twist. And I pick him up because, you know, he's telling Zachary Levi, "Hey, I got a worker that's upstairs that didn't show up to work. And, you know, we were really worried about her. And I saw he was talking to JT and, you know, maybe you know about it, you know." So he saw them together. So, you know, the double twist happens and you're like, "Oh, he didn't make it up. Oh, what a twist." You know. So I liked his character just for those 2 things. The fact that he was such a douche at the beginning, and he never gets no comeuppance because you don't, because evil people win. And second, that he reveals the double twist. So
all right,
I like that.
All right, I think we're safe now through Link. Manny, you got to start thinking real hard. I already got mine. I don't think you're going to pick it, so let's see what happens. Brooks, what's the performance you want to highlight?
Oh, I really like the girl who played Zachary Levi's girlfriend at the Christmas dinner.
Oh shit, Manny, you're good now.
Trisha Heffler. Hell yeah.
Just she's like most genuine performance. Like this is like she just felt like the most realistic character. And like this fucking douchebag like invites her out to Christmas dinner, and then he's just a fucking dick and fucking like, you know, kicks her out.
She made the dinner and he kicked her out. That's the funniest part. She
like,
made it.
Fucking serious? Fucking serious.
And she was just like, maybe he needs to get some help. You know, she wasn't even being mean about it. She was just like,
yeah.
Oh, she knows what's up, dude. She's the one character who knows what's up throughout the entire time that she's on screen. She knows what's up.
Like, he crazy, dog.
This dude's crazy, and you're using him to make you feel better.
Yep.
You don't really care about him, right? And we'll unpack that a little bit later. But that's a great pick. All right. Easy pickings for you 3 down there in the basement. But we love the basement show around here. What about you, Stu? What's a performance you want to highlight?
I'm gonna go with Amber Tamlin, man. I thought she was fantastic as the love interest. I thought, you know, like I said earlier, we got invested like right away with her, and you know, obviously she made the mistake of, you know, coming back after standing him up, you know, soaking wet in the rain, of course, but it was weird with her because I like how you couldn't decide if like she thought he was a ladies' man or a serial killer. You know what I mean? She found the sketchbooks, but she didn't exactly know what to do with it. I like how that mystery kind of stayed open. I like how, you know, she was vivacious and full of life, and that was ultimately her, you know, her demise. But yeah, she was definitely a highlight for me.
Those first moments where she's like talking to him, right, while they're eating lunch, like it had such a 90s kind of like independent movie kind of snap and pop and wit to it, right? Like I really liked her performance in those bits.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how like at first he's the one being standoffish or whatever, and then the second lunch he comes out and she's like weeping and he doesn't know how to approach it, and like they kind of get familiar with each other through that circumstance. I thought it was really well done.
Hell yeah. What about you, Link? What's a performance you want to highlight?
Well, I guess there's really only one answer, isn't there? No, I'm just kidding. That'd be too easy. I like challenge. I'm gonna go with the music as a distinct character of this movie. I think it definitely...
Damn.
Wild card. I like it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Nobody's talking about Zachary
I think
Levi.
it accentuated. You've seen Shazam. You've seen this movie for Zachary Levi. I think the movie definitely accentuated the emotional state, as I was saying earlier, the just hit or Mason's emotional state and him feeling super overwhelmed and like Manny said, it was very raw. I think that that added to the film quite a bit and gave it a distinct feel.
Hell yeah, I like that. I like that with the wild card. What about you, Manny? What are you thinking? What's a performance you want to highlight? The fucking lighting?
Yeah, the fucking lighting was phenomenal. Everything was well exposed. Some parts were overexposed, which added to the mood. No, it's Mason, right? It's got to be Mason. He's doing everything in this movie. He's carrying all of the weight. And he flips out really well. I believed his asthma attacks every time they happened. I guess I'd be panicked too if they just had me doing the same thing every day and I'm showing up to work like, what the fuck? Is there a plot here? You know what I mean? Like, I'd be panicked too and having asthma attacks. But no, it was no bullshit. Dude did phenomenal work. I've never seen Grandma's Boy, so I didn't know what his humor range was.
Oh, great comedies.
I've never seen it.
Dude, you need to watch Grandma's Boy, dude.
But I like him. I liked him in Avatar.
Get the fuck out of here, man. What the fuck, dude? You've seen Avatar, but not Grandma's Boy? That's fucking ridiculous.
Not Avatar on Netflix, bro. Avatar, the fucking blue cat people. All right? He was good.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about The Last Airbender. I was like, no. The only people that were good in that show were the Fire Nation. They were fucking phenomenal. Zuko was perfectly cast.
Are you the Fire Master? Nobody's seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire but me. All right, moving on.
All right. But yeah, no, Mason did a fucking fantastic job. I don't think anyone can argue that.
All right, yeah, he totally did. My favorite character in the film is Portland, Oregon. Because they use the city in the movie. Like it's part of the whole thing. The whole vibe of the movie is that, hey, we're not in Vancouver, y'all. We're actually in Portland, Oregon, and it's part of the whole character of the city, right? This like city that's seemingly progressive but isolating at the same time. This city that seems filled with hope as far as ideas and young people and youth culture, but then it's raining all the time and shit like that, right? Like it's very much a part of the film. And to me, it's about the isolating nature of that community and that city, but also the beauty that's there, right? Like I think there. But also Zachary Levi is fine. Except for the part where he's really overacting it, like it's in the fucking after-school special. I'm sorry that your dad killed your mother, man.
Man,
all right, I wish I could change that for you. Anyway, let's talk about.
My man, he had to throw in his dramatic tap somewhere,
He did, because he wasn't going to be able to do that in Shazam. But yeah. I hope if they ever reprint this on Blu-ray or 4K, they put your quote right up there, bro.
Yeah, man, you flamed it.
we usually think Joe Corallo needs all the quotes on the new printings of movies, but yours, if you've seen Shazam, you've basically seen this movie.
You better, Zachary Levi.
Oh man. All right, let's shit. What do we normally do? All right, I fucked up the whole goddamn thing, the rundown tonight. Let me look at my cheat sheet, which I haven't looked at in years. Oh yeah, I know. Okay, we're on the music. The music's got a score. It's fine. It's just like of the time, kind of generic, like kind of sounds. Like that kind of fucking shit. They're more like, remember what's the fucking movie? Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He's like, I'm not really a composer. I just make tones, right? Like it's kind of that vibe. But the jazz music is what is spotlighted here, aside from the CW montage bit there, which is, I didn't mind the first time, but this time I was like, this is the cheesiest shit in this movie. Like it's so bad. Everybody's having this like montage while he's at the grave or some shit like that, right? Anyway, I like the use of the jazz music. I think it's fine. It's throwing a vibe into it that I don't know if it fits the tone of the city, Portland. I don't think the music kind of makes me think Portland, right? If it was like some kind of art house alt rock indie band, maybe, right? But like maybe this should have been Chicago or like New Orleans or something. Like the music would have kind of felt more in there. But I also love how the music was a reflection of who he is, right? And he's talking about controlled lack of control. That's what jazz music is, right? It's like super freestyle, super like spontaneous, right? But at the same time, it has to fit within a structure. You can't play the wrong note with the wrong chord and it's going to fucking feel off. But if you do it for the right reasons, right? And I think that reflects who this character is inside. I do. I think he has a controlled lack of control, if that makes sense. What do you think about the music in the film, Jelani?
Don't even get me started. You know I hate jazz. Why did you troll me by making this movie?
You do fucking hate jazz. Jelani hates jazz, man.
I hate jazz. I hate
he hates jazz so much. He hates the Utah jazz. He hates Ken Burns jazz.
Transformer jazz.
He even hates the Neil Diamond classic, The Jazz Singer. He hates it, man.
The only jazz that is acceptable is the jazz that comes out of Cowboy Bebop. That's it. It's the only jazz I will only listen to and I only give a crap about.
I respect
Every
that
other jazz is a piece of crap. The fact that it's his methodology, the fact that he says that jazz.
I love how Stu was like, "I got your back." Link's like, "I got your back." Then you said that shit, and then they're both like,
"You just said, oh, I don't know if every other piece." Miles Davis got me through some rough stretches in life, man.
It's okay.
Jelani didn't say it's not my bag, it's not my cup of tea. Jelani says all the rest sucks. If it's not Cowboy Bebop, it sucks.
Except Cowboy Bebop. There's some Miles Davis in Cowboy Bebop. We can learn to live with
it.
All right. What I'm saying is this: Cowboy Bebop, outside of Cowboy Bebop, jazz is poop. What I'm saying is also is this. He makes the message that jazz is chaos and it's done by proficient musicians who know how to make music. Like they know how to make music, but they choose not to. They make jazz. So, and I'm like, oh God, that is for me. That's like a metaphor for this.
It's going to keep this up while you're talking.
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, I got opinions, man. I don't like a lot of things. The police, a lot of political crap.
Jelani hates the police. He hates fucking the government. He hates taxes, and he hates jazz.
Yeah. Yep. It's trash.
Damn.
It's all trash. But it is what it is. But what I'm trying to get to is,
by the way, that's the face that Brooks makes when he's not paying attention to Jelani. When he's just like, I'm out.
Hey, sometimes I get mad.
How do they see me?
There you go. And the reason I say that, I had to preface it with that because I hate jazz. But I had to preface that because, yeah, that's true too. I hate She-Hulk. God, that's trash.
And children in movies.
And children in movies. Not all children, but a good bit of children.
Hey, girl.
Right?
Oh my God.
But like I said, it's like a movie. This movie is telling you it has competent people that are making it, but they chose not to make it good. You know what I'm saying? They chose not to make it that way. That's what I treat this as, because they chose not. They could have made this better. They could have tightened up a lot of different things, but they chose not to. That's
because they chose jazz.
That's what I'm getting from the jazz part, because the jazz, and then he gets into
if this shit had an R&B
Are we
score.
still talking about the music, or
if this shit had an In Vogue score, Jelani would be like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen."
And there's a love story in it,
Genuine.
and I love love stories. But when there are killers in it, I don't love them. I don't know what it is. Like if the killer's in there and you're like, oh yeah, I like killing. You know I like killing, but I love you.
You draw the line at killing.
Draw the line. We're done.
Jazz and killing, no go. Okay.
Can't stand jazz.
So you didn't like the music. What did you think about the montage? With like the super emo song that somebody probably paid half the budget to get put in the movie.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, it's forgettable. This music is so stuck in Actually, it's stuck in the 90s. This movie soundtrack was like a 90s movie, like the WB. We're not even going to CW. We'll go to the WB for how
Hey, the
childish.
WB in the 90s, they had a good head on their shoulders. They had Chibo Mato in
They did
Buffy
all
the
right,
Vampire Slayer.
but
Okay, all
look,
right. And Biff Naked. So anyway, moving on. Brooks, what did you think about the music in the film?
I liked it for the most part. The score was pretty, pretty average overall, and the weird, emo rock song that just came out of nowhere was a bit jarring. But I like the jazz stuff, and jazz isn't something I'd say like I listen to on the regular, but it's been very influential in like music that I do like Pink Floyd is like my favorite band, and like you can tell those guys were heavily influenced by jazz. Hell, they did like a 20-minute 2-part song of them just like riffing basically. So yeah, it's like it does fit with the theme too of this obsession that he has with this idea of like controlled chaos, I guess.
Yeah. You also like Tool, right? You got to get that vibe from Tool, right? Yeah. You know what? This is so off this fucking subject. You know what has recently popped back into my fucking head that I've been obsessed with? Because Spotify played a random song on my playlist. I've been listening to that Godsmack album again, y'all. The one with like, go away. I'm doing Dude, that's a good fucking album, man. I don't give a shit. But yeah, that's a good album. Everybody needs to revisit that. Anyway, Stu, what'd you think about the music in this film?
I loved it. I loved the jazz. I loved Jelani, you're tripping, bro. There's too much goodness out there for everything else is poop though. Like, nah, come on, man.
Hot garbage. That's jazz in your ear. I used to be a musician. I can't hear that.
That's exactly what a saxophone sounds like. Right.
Everybody was on heroin, and everyone was on heroin. Everybody that did jazz ever was on heroin. There were competent musicians who were on heroin and then came up with that. And I'm like, stop it. Make some real stuff.
That musical riff you did was something that was in Cowboy Bebop.
I know. Did I explain?
I'm just saying.
Did I explain to you, Link, that inside of Cowboy
That's
Bebop,
the fucking theme song.
That's good. That's good. I love it inside of Cowboy. Everything else is trash.
You like the music, Stu?
Yes, and I loved also. I wanted to say the sound design. Two moments I liked. Well, a couple of them, but like I liked when she was first checking out his artwork or whatever, and we had the jazz playing, and then you get him like unfolding the garbage bag all super loud. That was like a dope moment. Also, like I like those little lead ups to him hitting the inhaler and how it was build up and release. Those were pretty dope. But yeah, the jazz was dope throughout. Jazz is dope. Jazz is amazing. So everybody go listen to some Miles Davis and John Coltrane.
This is the most like
get
fucking,
out of here.
This is the most like fucking not thought out statements ever been done on this channel. Is everybody who's ever made jazz
like
on
jazz.
heroin.
Hot heroin.
Hot heroin. Link, what did you think about the music? It was your favorite character in the film.
Yeah, I well, the jazz bit. So that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, it was average, like Brooks said. The score of it, it was competent enough, but I did like the jazz stuff quite a bit because I like jazz. I find it to be a relaxing music. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, talk to him, bro. Talk to him.
Jelani apparently does not get relaxed by jazz.
Not at all.
Do you like smooth jazz?
I actually like smooth jazz.
Of course.
Because it's not jazz. He was saying
out of here.
Those guys are just on weed and fucking.
That's right.
That man ain't on no hot heroin. That's just, I don't hear any hot heroin.
You never know where PCP
The hot
movie
tar,
night's
baby.
gonna go.
That black tar, yeah, that Chinese.
Yeah, he and all of that kind of light. Yeah.
Liquid gold. Then
Jeez.
my bad. That's Velveeta. Sorry. Link, any other thoughts on the music?
I don't know.
You like jazz?
I do like jazz. Jay Laney, we'll talk afterwards. But
No.
yeah, I think the jazz part of the film was it did its job quite well. The score was all right.
Hot Heroin is the greatest jazz album title. I seriously like Jelani. You just do your fucking, who's the dude who did Don't Worry, Be Happy? What's that dude?
Bobby
McFerrin.
Bobby McFerrin, yeah.
Do your Bobby McFerrin jazz album, right? And call it Hot Heroin. It's gonna be great, dude. We'll plug it all.
Scat. We need a
throughout
scat. We need a scat album. from
Yeah,
Jelani.
we need that, man.
Scat.
You like scat music though, don't you? I know you like scat music.
Sometimes. I mean, I like Bobby McFerrin, but he's not jazz.
Bobby's good
I like Kenny G. I love Kenny G.
This motherfucker is talking shit about jazz, but he loves
Damn.
Kenny G.
just being
Get the fuck
flagrant
outta
with
here,
it
bro.
tonight, dude.
I recently learned that Warren G and Kenny G have like a mutual understanding, and they allow each other to use like a certain G or whatever. And I also remember that back in the day, Warren G and Garth Brooks got in a fucking legal battle over the lowercase G in a circle or whatever, and they sided in the favor of Garth Brooks.
Of course they fucking did.
Of course. Warren, I tell you what, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Damn it.
That one album from
Okay,
Garth
man.
Brooks, I fucking
We'll go with
love.
the real
Yeah.
musician. Thank
Fuck
you.
outta here,
Warren
Garth
G is greater than fucking
All day long.
Garth Brooks to
All
me.
day long.
This
He is.
motherfucker did Regulate. He did
He did.
Regulate. And that second album, Take a Long Hard Look Over Your Shoulder or whatever, that's underappreciated,
Bro,
y'all.
so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like I completely agree with you. He's an
I once
underrated
knew a
legend.
trick named Anime.
Guy helped build Def Jam. Really helped
Fuck yeah,
put,
dude.
as far as West Coast, like West Coast representation with Def Jam.
He
Jelani,
came
who
to
do you like better,
Huntsville.
Warren G or
Brooks did
Kenny G?
Warren G, of course.
Okay, Warren G like jazz.
Yeah, he'll get over it.
He still does, I bet. He's not dead. I don't know why I said liked. Anyway,
He'll definitely get over it.
Manny, you got thoughts on the music? Do you like jazz?
I can tell you this much. I have never once in my 30 some odd years going around the sun ever fucking sat down and was like, I'm listening to jazz today.
No
Like,
one
that
does
has-
that.
that has
except
never
for- except for
happened.
Stu, who loves
Jazz
Mouse.
happens in shit in media that
Color
I
me
consume.
cultured, bro.
Like I mean, I like the movie
It's your culture's
Soul
out here.
that I'm told had jazz in it at certain points. I know this film had jazz in it. I like the fact that it vacillates so greatly between slow and mellow and raucous and weird and strange dissonant stacked notes, because that fits with the context of the movie. That's the mental state of Mason. It works. It has its place. Its place is almost never on my playlist, but it's there. It exists. I'm not saying that because like I'm dissing jazz. Like, my music taste is suspect as hell. I legit listen to Power Rangers theme songs all the fucking time. Like all the time.
That's awesome.
Dude, and not even like the ones people like. You know how many times I'm like rolling down the street, fucking
Smoking it
stereo
out.
just blaring, here come the Power Rangers, here come the Power Rangers. Always. I'm not proud. I roll my shit down. I'm singing along, dude. And I know the lyrics to that song are terrible. I know it. It's not good rap. But I put it up there. They're on my top 5. But the truth is, the music in here is really well done because it fits with the film. Aside from the parts where it doesn't, and I don't know if that, like, part of me wants to think that's deliberate, because like this film, the jazz feels like it's being played like live, like they're reacting to the film, right? It feels that way when you're watching it, and then all of a sudden you get some weird ass like funeral scene that even has like the music video like from Above the Rain type
Yeah.
thing, and
Dude,
part of
it
me is
feels
just
so
like,
out of
That is
place,
so
man.
it's out of
weird.
place that it almost feels deliberate. Like The fact that he is standing in the rain at this funeral, they've got that top-down shot with the umbrellas. It's like,
bro, you think they're trying to make
I thought
fun
it was a
of
flashback.
that
Or
shit?
like, I
right?
thought it was him.
I think that what they're doing is like, this is that moment. This is to disarm you into that love story. Is this the moment where Mason snaps too? Is Amber the girl that's gonna snap him out of this strange fucking behaviors that he has? Like, is this that moment?
I think you're being very gracious.
The fucking Mentos commercial? Like,
I
is
think
that
you're
what these are?
I think it is, because I think you're being gracious. I think what happened was somebody was like, yo, I'm a producer. I got this band coming out. I'll give you 200 G's if you fucking put this song in there.
Just like Tech 9 when he let Rock rap on that fucking Face-Off track. I heard that again the other day because it popped up on there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope he got paid. I hope he got paid big. God damn. Yeah, no, jazz exists, and
who would have thought the Tonight Show would have delved into a whole thing about the relevance of jazz? Jazz isn't something I actually seek out to listen to, but I do like it. I know that my taste in music is way too like Fisher Price, if that makes sense. Like, I like pop music with like discernible bits. I think in spite of Jelani, I'm going to become a jazz fan this year. Let's see what happens. I'm going to dive in. Where do I start, Stu?
Miles Davis, Blue and Green. Start there.
Oh, I actually listened to that while I was reading Blue and Green because Ron B told me to. So that's fucking awesome.
Go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll dive back into that shit. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Spotify will figure it out from that point forward, man. If I had a blues phase, I can have a jazz phase, right? I had a blues phase, by the way, that sank me in depression. So be wary of bourbon and blues. Okay, y'all?
Don't get into heroin and jazz, bro. It's like, I don't want to set you on that
hot
path.
heroin.
Yeah, God knows.
That cold heroin.
Black tie.
All right, this movie's got some themes. What are you picking up out of it, Jelani, aside from jazz sucks?
Well, jazz does suck. Be aware of the red flags in the room. If you see someone that needs some help, and I'm not knocking anybody for this. If you see someone that is unstable or that needs a lot of counseling or something that needs help, of course, be a friend to them, but don't take it too far. Amber saw good in him. She saw the good until she didn't. And if it wasn't the incident of her finding the sketchbooks that tipped her off, it should have been the 80 other things before that got her to that level. You can't be blinded by people. People show you who they are all the time, and sometimes you have to recognize it. You have to address it, and then you have to either get out of the way, which I think even Zachary Levi should have gotten out of the way, and or helped him out. If that was going to be his brother, I think his brother should have taken him to get help. I think that's the first thing that he should have done. He said, "Oh, all these girls and things," because at the girl at the beginning of the movie, is the waitress. The waitress is in the restaurant. He kills her. He kills her and throws her body in a dumpster. And nobody, by the way, no one in Seattle investigates this.
Can we? Yeah,
there are no cops in this.
We had to talk about that. Like, he just casually dumps it. Like, he just drags it down like one flight of steps, and it's like a problem forgotten about.
We're done. We kill it.
Or if that was a body.
No, he threw it away.
Come on now.
Could just be paintings.
He been killing women for a while now. He good at it. He probably killed his mama. So what I'm saying is this:
all because of jazz.
It's all because Jazz. Jazz made him a serial killer. Stu, I don't understand why you can't see that, man. You don't understand why Jazz made him a serial killer.
Sorry, it's the Caucasian in me, bro. Forgive me.
So read red flags.
Yes, read red flags. That's all.
Yeah, like when someone's
and jazz is hot.
Super into jazz. Like, you watch out. What about you, Brooks? What are you picking up for this movie? What's its theme? What's it speaking to you?
I think this movie is a lot about, the kind of like loneliness, like, the loneliness is it's like a self-imposed loneliness in a way, because like some people are like that. Some people don't like to, they like to have more alone time, but like you've got to, like you can't just, be alone all the time. You got to go out and interact with the world and, and meet people and things. And like it's like the idea that this guy is like he's been so he's isolated himself so much that he only just hangs out with this one douchebag guy that and when when you find somebody who reaches out to you and tries to relate to you even though you're like being standoffish to them, like that makes a big impression on you. The idea of somebody like wanting to get to know you so much that they'll like look past your flaws to and try and believe there's something better in you. And like it can also be like it can lead down a dark path as well. This idea like you become so enraptured with this person that has given you something that you've never known about. And like it becomes dangerous too because you can't, like, people aren't like a possession for you to like pine over or something like that. You have to like respect people's boundaries as well. And it's like it's just hard. Those kind of relationships can easily like kind of turn out wrong. And I think that's what it is, like that people are so wrapped up in themselves sometimes and so isolated from the people around them that when they have those kind of human interactions, they don't know when to stop, so they go too far, and by the time they figure it out, it's too late sometimes.
Fuck yeah, I like that. Thank you so much, Brooks, for a nuanced opinion on the themes of this film. As opposed to just that. All right. What about you? What about you, Stu? What's this movie speaking to you?
Oh man. I guess ultimately be a better friend. And like an inhaler is not like a Xanax or like a fix it all remedy. Like I felt like so many times he's like, go hit the inhaler and you're gonna be okay. I don't know. Check on your people, man. Don't be so superficial. And like when you're, when the 100th woman in your life tells you that you're, using this dude and keeping around for all the wrong reasons, maybe listen to her. I think that was ultimately like a lot of this could have been avoided if Zachary Levi had stepped up to the plate a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know.
I like
your people, man.
There because like when you are with someone who has like say a condition, right, like asthma, right, and when something big happens and you're like, just use your inhaler, you get used to the idea of like, this is a quick fix, just use that. And you're so dismissive of what's actually happening. Right. Absolutely. And that's something that Zachary Levi's character, who I believe officially is named Dude Bro, manager Dude Bro. That's basically what he's representing. What about you, Link? What's this film speaking to you?
I agree with the Zachary Levi bits, but at the same time, it's like, is it really his responsibility to make sure this? Like, it's you can only help someone so much. It was up to Mason to get the help he needed and address his own demons. It's always good to have encouragement and friends that support you, but at the end of the day, that's got to be your decision. True. And Mason didn't really take that route. Like, obviously Zachary Levi could have done more, but
he did call the dude to be like, I just killed another one. That's how the movie starts, right?
I mean, he in his own way, he was trying. Call the police. He was, and it's not a good thing, but he was like, he had enabling behavior. Like, he was like, yeah, you're good, man. You're good. Nothing happened. But it wasn't truly getting Mason the help he really needed. So, it's he wasn't really equipped for it, But I do think it does have to do with that, addressing your demons, get the help you need. And it has to do also with people not being so quick to be just so dismissive of others when they seem off or different or they're not jiving with them. Like Stu said, check in on people or people. I think those are two relevant themes in the movie.
Absolutely. What about you, Manny? What's this movie? What are you picking up from it?
I watching it and then rewatching certain aspects of it. I think what spoke to me personally is the painting stuff, because I like to paint, I like to dabble, and there's something about like the amazing jazz that's in this film, and then like the act of painting, because like painting, when you're painting and you're in that zone, the only sound is the paint. It's the bristles, it's the sloshes, it's your breathing, that's rhythm of your breathing. It's so different than jazz, right? It's so different than jazz. And there's something about painting that is, especially a portrait, it's intimate, and it's tender, but it's also, I don't know, it's kind of, I don't know if this is the right word. It's kind of violent, right? Because when you paint someone's portrait, you're like dissecting them. You are stripping them down. You're bringing them to the elements of their face, what they look like. You're going down to the most base, stripped bare act of the person, right? And you're trying so badly to get that soul on the canvas, and then the act of putting the paint on the canvas, there's so kinetic, there's so much motion. It's like stabbing almost. I don't know if I know it's a weird stretch, I know it's reaching, but this is what I was coming to me, and these new gummies are fucking awesome. But when I look at this,
are they hot gummies?
You're sitting there.
Hot heroin gummies.
Because you're high like every day. The thing is, you're revealing the soul of the person. You're working so damn hard to get that out. Each stroke of the brush, each layer of paint, you're laying this bare. It's you take somebody who's so alive in front of you, looking at you. They're worried about how they're gonna come across. They're doing their best to please you as an artist, because they want this to be perfect, and all you're thinking about is this end result that ends with this motionless, lifeless painting. You entomb somebody in that painting. And I think that when you look at Mason, you look at what he's doing. He's covering this pain. He's trying to cover this trauma like he's covering a white canvas with paint. And he's bringing these people in and bringing them into a cycle of violence in his life. He's not painting the portrait for the subject. He's not capturing the subject's soul. He's bearing his soul, but he's forcing it on the subject. Just like how he's taking these people that should be safe, and he's ending their life in such violence. And I don't know, that's,
you never see how they kill him anyway.
Damn.
There's just something about art, there's something about obsession, there's something that, because this film is so based around art, I know it's what it has to be, what they intended. And it's, I don't know, it's just such a striking thing to me. That's what I think. That's what I think the film is about. It's about obsession. It's about art. It's about projecting our past traumas onto other people. And like his art, which looks like fine art, Zachary Levi brushes his mental health issues aside, because it's just a painting. It's just a painting. You just have anxiety. Take a hit of your inhaler. You'll get past this. Is normalizing trauma, sweeping it under the rug and calling it something different. Yeah. And anyway, that's what I got from this one.
Dang, baby.
All right, that's good. Everybody, that's really good. All right, for me, this movie is about isolation. In particular, let me quote Jonathan Larson from Rent. Right? Jonathan Larson was the creator of Rent. Connection in an isolating age. We're not equipped for it. We don't know how to do it. And this is something that was being recognized in the 90s and in the aughts, and now it's like become like an epidemic, right? We have a society that, through, in particular, what I think is shown in this movie, through work, is isolating, right? These people work at a call center. They're in little cubicles. Like, you can think about the satirical meaning of Office Space. This is more of the flip side of that, right? Like the big data video for Clean kind of plays around with this. But like, there's this idea that like even in an office building filled with people, your job is very solo. And when you do reach out for help, you get kind of like shot down, right? Like the dude that you were talking about, Jelani, right in the beginning, he's like, how do I do this report? I don't know. And it's like, I have a little bit of power over you because I know how to do this report and you don't, right? And nobody wants to help each other out. And we have this false sense of connection when really we are all isolated. Joel David Moore's character, Mason, completely isolated. Ever since his mother died, however, whatever the circumstances were, this dude's been alone. But he's got a best friend who looks out for him, who will never lead him off the wrong track. Mason's a dude who doesn't want to be a serial killer. Should I call the police? So he has a false connection with Amber Tamblin's character and Zachary Levi's character. And Zachary Levi has a false connection too. He's isolated as well. So what's the secret to curing the isolation from wage slave bullshit fucking jobs that humans are not meant to actually do, right? That doesn't fulfill anything. Well, let's rise to the top and be the top of that game. Nope, that doesn't work either. Because Zachary Levi's character shows that he abuses his power. He abuses it for sex. He abuses it for all kinds of things, right? And he has a false connection to Mason. But it's not real because he doesn't really care about Mason. That chick is right. His girl number 100, Stu, she's right. He's using this to make himself feel better. How many people take on, what's the term? There's a term for this, but the idea of like, you're almost like your mother henning. Like you're going to take someone else's struggle on as your own to make yourself feel better, but not actually give a shit about making that cause or that struggle better, right? You know what I'm saying? So there's that. And then you got Amber Tamblyn, who is lonely as fuck. So lonely that this fucking weird ass dude is there. And she forces a connection with this dude, right? Because she's lonely. And that's what all three of these main characters show. And why I said the city was a part of it was because Portland has this promise of being a community. And you get there, and as the growth of the city happened, and I'm not from Portland, right? We know people from Portland. We can ask them. What the fuck does Bueller know, though, right? He lives in a van now, down by the river. But no, like the idea of like any city, any urban dense population, right? Where there's a promise of connection, but it's not actually there. We see this right now with social media. We see this right now with the media that we consume. It's getting shorter. It's getting less nuanced and more just, it's straight up like, I mean, honestly, Mike Judge is the biggest fucking genius in cinema history because it's just like Idiocracy where, you know, what's the show? Like, oh, ouch, my balls or whatever. Like that's TikTok. That's what everybody's watching right now. And we're talking about like fucking 7-year-olds watching that shit. This is their entertainment. Manny said something yesterday on his Exorcist stream. I don't know how our kids are going to react to a slow burn movie like The Exorcist because of what they're being conditioned to. This is a problem that we're seeing. And it was a problem that started before. And now all the technological stuff has made it worse. It's compounded it, right? We have a false sense of connection in our lives. We are not as connected to the people that we think we are, like we think we are, if that makes sense, right? And I think that that's something we really need to focus on because we have these shitty jobs that most of us work just to fucking get through the day, just to make rent. We're struggling, right? But we also feel like we can't share that struggle with others because we got to be on our own. We got to be dependent. We got to be stoic about it, right? So we can't reach out for help. And when we do, honestly, sometimes genuinely reach out for help, we don't get it. We get disinterest from people who are supposed to be our friends.
Yep.
We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, man. I'm super guilty of it. And like, we got to be better. We got to do better. We got to be better people. We got to be better friends. We got to stick up for each other in a more real way because I'm tired of this false sense of connection. I want to have genuine connection, man.
Amen.
Even if you don't like jazz. So that's what I think. All
Nice
right.
cherry on top there. I like that.
Thank you. Time to rate the film. You out there in the chat, if you watch Spiral, not the Chris Rock Saw franchise directed by Darren Lynn Bousman Saw movie that we talked about already 6 months ago or whatever on Horror Fest. We did all the Saw films. Go there for your heart's content. But tonight we're talking about Adam Green, Joel David Moore's Spiral from 2007. What did you give it out of 5 possible you digs? Jelani, why don't you kick us off here on the panel? What do you rate it?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't watch it again because the twist is ruined. Just like Sixth Sense, I hadn't watched it again since I saw it like maybe the first time. It's just one of those things that now I know that there's a twist, I can't watch it perfectly because I'm going to get mad throughout the whole thing. Plus, there's jazz in it, so 2.5 for me. Yeah.
Damn, 2.5? Okay, if it didn't have jazz and it had bluegrass, what would you give it?
3.
I knew it. I fucking knew it, man.
Probably.
Stu just guessed. Stu, you're officially one of us now because you just for the first time, without any thinking, just like reacted to Jelani going, fuck off. Like right,
get
Brooks,
over
he's
it,
one of
Stu.
us now.
All right, I love you,
I had a
bro.
lot of
Come on,
things,
man.
It's okay. Get over it.
All right. Oh, brother, where art thou? Is what
I
gotta
love that
say.
movie. It does
Great
not have
movie.
jazz in it.
5.
Literally.
amazing.
I mean it
Five.
literally.
10. Could I give it 10? I'll give it 5.6.
All right, a 2.5 from Jelani.
Jazz. Shit.
I give a 5 to the fucking panel tonight. What about you, Brooks? What do you rate Spiral?
I give this one a 4. Like, I did like it, but you know, it's much like jazz. It's one of those things where you kind of have to be in the mood for it, I think. But it is an intriguing movie, and like I like the kind of like psychological aspect of it. So yeah, not perfect, but still pretty decent.
I feel like next year in January, we're going to cover, because I love Neil Diamond, I think we're going to cover the jazz singer, but I think Jelani will like it because there's no jazz in that movie. I don't know why it's called the fucking jazz singer, except for it's supposed to be a remake. But it's Neil Diamond doing Neil Diamond.
It's Neil Diamond. It's not heroin. Never mind.
No, he doesn't do hot heroin. He does a hot pot. La 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 pot. Pot. Anyway, give me some pot. Forget who you are. You can be what you're not. That's a great song, by the way, from Velvet Gloves and Spit. What a great name for an album. Velvet Gloves and Spit. Neil Diamond named an album that, y'all. Think about that. Had Brooklyn Roads on it. Shiloh. Great shit. Anyway, a 2.5 from Jelani, a 4 from Brooks. What about you, Stu? Where do you rate this film?
I was going to go a respectable 4, just even score, but the Jazz pushed it up to a 5. A perfect 5 from your boy. Man, the jazz was amazing. I just want more of it. So, yeah, I'm going to get off of here and listen to some jazz, and I'm going to start my morning tomorrow with some. And, dude, I'm going to be fucking Coltrane in it up tomorrow. I can't wait. Saxophones and trumpets. And
Stu's visceral response to this conversation is really funny to me. What do you rate this film?
Sorry, I was playing jazz and doing heroin at the same time.
Wow.
Bad.
All right, now it's going a little bit too far.
so
Now you're pissing me off. Okay, let's.
That's unfortunate.
Jeff, what do you think about this film?
I'm gonna be a little bit more realistic in my approach. 5 still. I'm a little shocked, but I'll give this one a 3.5 because the Jazz gave it. It's a 3, solid movie. There's definitely room for improvement, as every movie, but what Manny said earlier about the first 2 acts, there's something that doesn't really I mean, maybe it ties in with what Jelani's saying with the reveal. Like there's something that doesn't really, it's not slow, but it's a little monotonous at certain points. So, but it had great themes, good cast, everyone, for the 3-4 people it had in it, all bangers, to be honest. I mean, even Battlestar Galactica, So Say We All. Come on, that was a great cameo.
Great.
But it's a solid movie. Oh, you know what? There's this movie called The Voices with Ryan Reynolds that I feel like deals with this similar stuff. I think it does it in a more entertaining way, and it has a little bit of emotional core. That's the only reason I'm knocking this movie. It's because it reminds me of that movie, and I enjoy the voice a little bit more. But I'll give it a solid 3.5.
All right, very respectable. What about you, Manny? What do you think?
I'm going 3. I think it's competently made. It's got good stuff going for it. Tighten up the script a little bit, or if it's a character study, I don't know. Maybe I needed to know that going into it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna go 3. I think it's 3.
All right, I'm going to be there with Brooks. I'll say 4. I think last time I watched it, I would have given it like a 4.5, but it does kind of lose something on rewatchability. And I think what it's missing is some layers to it, right? Like when you reread Watchmen, and it's unfair to compare this movie to Watchmen, but for instance, it's a movie or a book that's meant to, if you have a twist, that's nice, but like it's better to make it feel that when you get to go back, like after you know the end of Watchmen, the graphic novel, right? And you read it, every time you read it, you pick up something different. That doesn't happen here. And it happens in other movies, not just, I mean, Watchmen's probably a bad example, but there's plenty of movies that when you rewatch them, you're like, oh shit, that makes more sense. And now that I know the ending, like Usual Suspects, right? Bryan Singer's a piece of shit. Kevin Spacey's a piece of shit. That movie's fucking awesome. And when you know the twist and you watch it again, you're like, holy shit, how did I not pick this up? Right? This movie doesn't have that factor. So to me, it drops down just a little bit, but I do applaud early filmmaking from Adam Green and Joel David Moore. And it's Joel David Moore breaking out of the typical role that Hollywood would give him, right? Yeah. And it's more of a cerebral film than what Adam Green is known for, right? So I do appreciate that. And I think it's a really good kind of like first film type thing. So I do like it. So I'll give it a 4. So a 4 from me and Brooks, 2.5 from Jelani, a 5 from Stu, just to spite Jelani, and a Manny, would you give it a 3? And you gave it a 3.5, right, Stu? All right. Sure. That's a PCP average of 3.66666669, dudes. Just want everybody to know I was the first one to start doing the .69 shit, right? I don't want anybody ever to claim credit for that other than me. All right. So 3.666 blah, 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 9 for the PCP movie review of Spiral, not the Chris Rock Saw movie that was started by James Wan. Darren Lynn Bousman did more Saw movies than anybody else. We did a whole thing about the Saw franchise. Check that out. We did it for Horror Fest last year. It was our grand finale. This is the finale of March Madness here on PCP Movie Night. But that does not mean that March Madness is over. No, sir, because you can check me out Thursday night over at Blood Splatter Chatter as we're talking with Easy Dick, 9-panel grid, The Stash, Eric Durrance, right? Like, it's a great conversation we had about Black Swan. Really, really cool stuff. And then the grand finale over at Dylan's Horror Show. We're talking about Possession. I've never seen this movie. I'm very excited to dive into that. That's Dylan's Horror Show Saturday night. And Manny, of course, delivering some great content. He's going to be talking about Giant Demonic Splendor, when superheroes and demons collide. A look at Ghost Rider, the Spectre, and we have demons. And yes, we all know the Spectre is misspelled.
Yes.
And if Manny sent me another thumbnail, I couldn't find it. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
I didn't. And I knew it was misspelled because you said that the first time you did it. And I was like, I need to redo that thumbnail. And instead, I redid my other thumbnails like 8 other times.
Manny's the thumbnail king, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Manny thumbnails, he did this great thumbnail for our show on Thursday before the show over at Blood Splatter Chatter, and you check me out over at Black Swan. Do check us out for the monthly comic book review on Thursday. We'll be talking about the best comics of the month, 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It's going to be me, Nick, Manny, Stu, and Chris from Lost in Comics, and maybe a special guest. And even though March Madness is over for us here at PCP, we're going to continue it on into April. So April 1st, next week, join us for Cats, y'all.
Jesus Christ.
4 years in the making. We made a promise that we were going to cover this movie.
Let's go.
And we never did. So we're finally going to do it. So next week on PCP Movie Night, join me, Jelani and Brooks, Manny, Fable, and Joe Corallo
Oh man,
as we
that's a
talk
good
about
one.
Cats, the
Wow.
movie that started the COVID pandemic. I think this movie literally started because the last thing I remember is this movie came out and then the world shut the fuck down, dude.
God damn cats.
It really did. I've never seen this film. I
Me
thought
neither.
we wouldn't.
And I love the stage,
I really
the
don't.
stage version of it. I love Cats.
Oh yeah.
God damn, y'all.
I hope they have some jazz bits in it, man.
And
That just really accentuate
I just feel like
the alley cat.
Yes.
we've had a really good PCP movie
Oh
night
boy.
session so far this year. You know, we've been talking about some great movies from like Terry Gilliam and Quentin Tarantino and Martin Scorsese, and we got some great movies we've been talking about. So I was like, we got to throw something in there to shake this up a little bit. How about Cats? So fuck yeah, April 1st.
yeah.
No, it's not an April Fool's joke, y'all. The April Fool's joke is on us for fucking doing it, right? But that's what it is. It's really fucking happening. So go watch Cats. I don't know where it's streaming. But we're gonna do that next week.
I own it, so you know, I guess we put it on the Plex server.
That's why Manny's like, I'll be there. I own the fucking movie. And Joe Corallo saw it in the theater, of course. You know, so dude, by the way, for the April lineup, that was the first one to fill up. I could not believe it. I was like, I thought nobody would want to do Cats, and it filled up so fucking quick.
That's
They can
awesome.
take
Dude,
my slot. They can take.
It's like
Nah,
like
Delaney, you promised you, me, and Brooks promised to do this 4 years ago, so we got to do it.
it's like Speechless in the Aladdin remake. Beautiful Ghost is such a great fucking song in that Cats movie is, and I feel like that put it over the edge for me. That's why I got my $20.
They had a new
for the
song?
digital copy. Oh yeah. Beautiful Ghosts.
Taylor Swift wrote it.
They had to give an arc to the main character because they didn't understand that fucking Cats is what the point of Cats is, and not having that central main character to take the entire fucking theme of the film away from Grisabella. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
We can be honest
next week.
too. Like Cats is like as a play, as a stage performance, it's not something that lends itself to a film structure. No, at all. Like it doesn't have a structure. It's just like vignettes, right?
Yeah.
It's like here's this cat. Here's this cat. Oh, these two cats like each other. Don't forget, right? Like there's I don't know. I want to see it. We're gonna see it anyway. By the way, go check out our friends over at the EXP right now. As soon as we wrap up with this show, they're having a great show. I think it's Kyle and Bronze Age Nerd. They're talking about how do we bring new readers into comics. My simple answer is make better comics. Delaney, thank you for being here. Final thoughts. What you got coming up?
Yeah, read Transformers and Duke, and freaking other stuff that's coming out. That's good now. I know you guys know it, but I don't read comics as much as I used to. I switched my lovely thing to action figures, where Brooks and actually Manny, who does our thumbnails, we do this awesome thing called Go Figure Reviews. Check us out. We did one this week called The Executioner. It's from the X-Men 97 wave. We're doing a whole wave of figures. This Executioner is pretty good. I watched the show, and Brooks and I watched the show, and I think we like it. And he plays a pivotal role in
what about that dancing scene with Jubilee and Sunfire?
Yeah, that was awesome. She was
Sunspot,
like,
Sunspot.
"Look at me, I'm showing off my powers."
That one weird. That didn't weird you out or nothing.
I
What
don't
about
care.
Rogue's voice? What about all the fucking cat puns that Rogue makes? Like seriously, all the cat shit. Like she said that one cat line in the original show, and so there's like 4 in this fucking first 2 episodes.
I wasn't looking at it that deep. I was just looking at it.
I
as,
was, man.
thank
I'm a
goodness
pop
there's
culture
an excellent
philosopher,
show.
Delaney. Okay, I thought you were
like
too.
I loved it.
I am too, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it
Y'all
was
like that
so
Rogue dance
good.
scene for real? Y'all like that? Wasn't that weird?
You mean the Jubilee one?
Yeah,
Jubilee
my
dance
bad.
with
The
pirates?
Jubilee and
Why they
Sunspot.
didn't-
Let me tell you something. Sunspot is holding those goddamn glow sticks like this. No raver held glow sticks like this, man. We held them like this, and you
Hey,
did
man,
this kind of movement
At least
with
they
it,
weren't
right?
playing jazz.
And his
man.
pupils should be way more dilated. Like he should be,
Bro,
should be grinding his teeth
Molly.
and all that.
My problem is the rave scene with X-Men 97. Fuck it, because of the rave scene. They don't understand the nuances of the 90s rave scene.
No, they don't. They don't understand that culture.
Jesus wept.
Somebody should have come up and but you guys need some orange juice. Some Sunny Delight.
Yeah.
You look dehydrated, man.
Someone just pops a pill in Jubilee's mouth out of nowhere.
Yeah. But I mean, it was fine. And then we also did the X-Men 97 Nightcrawler. He hasn't shown up.
I guess he's going to be in the goddamn show.
Yes. Spoilers. This is a badass figure.
Damn figures always.
Here's the fucking other thing. I'm sorry. Here's the fucking other thing. So Morph is only there apparently so that they can have cameos from other X-Men that they don't want to bother writing into the episode. Get the fuck out of here.
Throw Psylocke in there. An Archangel.
Get the fuck out of here.
Been in the show.
Yeah,
Psylocke's been in the show.
And how did he morph the swords? Because those swords, he wasn't carrying those swords before. He morphed them. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that's true, dude. Yeah.
Bro,
this motherfucker's Mystique now. He's not just like fucking mimicking late night television anymore. Like,
he's doing what he can. He's doing what he can. Hey,
and why you got a Nerf Storm? Why you got a Nerf Storm in the second fucking episode?
Damn,
get the fuck out of here. She and
I like where they're going with that.
Okay, because they're going with the life death stuff, right? Right? Because we know life death part 1 and 2. I love Barry Windsor Smith. I hope that works out. I didn't hate the show. I'm just saying I see a lot of people saying it's the best thing ever. And I'm just like, y'all are crazy.
It's
Eric, fucking Easy Dish is like, it's like a perfect fucking thing. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's perfect,
but it's good.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's absolutely.
I definitely stood up and was like, "Is that Executioner?" When he showed up, like with my dumbass 90s, like
it immediately made me go,
"Yo, tell me,
I need that Toy Biz toy, man. I never got that one."
I still have my Executioner Toy Biz toy. I'm gonna boom, mic drop.
I love toys.
Tell me it wasn't cool when when Scott was like zipping around the battlefield using the momentum of his optic blast to that was dope as fuck.
They made
come on.
Cyclops cool. They made Cyclops the way he's supposed to be.
The action scenes were super fire.
Awesome. He is not a dick.
There's good stuff in it, man. I like it.
It's good.
I like it. I like it. I just have some issues, man. They're all nitpicky, man.
He's a fucking snob, dude.
Always has been.
This motherfucker hates jazz and thinks they're all on heroin, and everybody's on me for fucking my. X-Men 97's alright.
Black greasy heroin. Black target variety.
Brooks, thank you for being here. Final thoughts.
Jazz rocks.
Not really. Okay.
All right, Stu, thank you for being. Tell us a little bit about.
Oh, dude, this Wednesday night, 9:30, we got the homie right there in the bottom left corner, Manny, coming through for Supreme Clientele. We're gonna be addition on a few new comics, and we're going over Punisher Born for a throwback. I can't wait to get into it. Dr. Doom's Fan Club on YouTube, 9:30 on Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was like, I think I lost like 150 calories laughing tonight, man. This was a great show. And you're right, Brooks. Jazz rocks. That's a new t-shirt slogan.
We need a lot of t-shirts, man. Like Hammer Time needs to get on it, man. That's what I'm saying. Link, thank you for being here, man. Final thoughts, my brother.
What Stu said, Supreme Clientele. I'm gonna be with these two guys. We're gonna be badass, and we're probably gonna highlight jazz just a little bit, just to spite Jelani.
Definitely highlight. We're gonna have a new jazz.
We're gonna have a jazz section. Oh, yeah. I can't wait! I can't wait to not watch it.
Well, that would change the status, right?
The jazz has. We're gonna have to find a play on amalgamating jazz with name.
We're gonna start a whole new a whole new YouTube channel called "Fuck Jelani Jazz Rocks." Right? That's what we're doing. Yeah, PCP Jazz.
But yeah, it was a blast. Great time tonight, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, super fun. What about you, Manny? What you got coming up, bruh?
Dude, I'm got all kinds of stuff. I'm here tonight. I'm on Dr. D's Fan Club Wednesday. I'm back here on Thursday. I got a video dropping on Wednesday. Fuck, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
That's
To
funny,
be
bro.
perfectly honest with you, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all got to deal with me a couple more times this week. But that's all well and good. Nerdtastic News is a thing that exists. Y'all can go and check it out. But I do want to just give a shout out to a show that not enough people, even though a lot of people are checking it out, not enough people know about this awesome show on Mondays that Robbie's on over on The Experience. All right, like I got this dope ass 1 in 25 Spectacular Spider-Man #1 for like $7, dude. Like the deals on that show are fantastic. The chat is always great.
Dude, we had a great show tonight, dude. Nick came in because we started talking about Roadhouse. And so like the last 20 minutes of the show, we went 15 minutes over. The last like half hour was just like everybody just bullshitting. And people being like, if y'all were Sesame Street, this is what character y'all would be. It's fucking fun.
Y'all got to get Nick riled up like earlier in the show, because at the end he always comes in all pissed off because y'all ain't sold any books. And he's just like,
Dude,
"I'll give him that away for I'll give you $100 to take that right now. All right, if you want to say, like, get him riled up earlier so that we don't know when it's happening."
Right? He always comes in. He's like, talk less, sell more. But as soon as we start mentioning Roadhouse, he pops the fuck in and just derails the show.
Oh, but
Thank
it is
you.
great.
I really thought you were going to talk about Eric. So can we spotlight Eric at 9-panel grid?
Absolutely.
What another great fucking weekly review. He honestly, if he released those on Tuesdays, I would have words with him because he's too good. He's competition. I don't like it. Like Eric, chill the fuck out, dude. What's wrong with you? The cool thing that he has that I don't have is he somehow has managed to make it through all of these X-Men books. And I don't understand how. Eric is like doing the Lord's work.
I did it.
Yeah, Brooks, you did it too, but you ain't happy about it.
I am not. Well, that's why X-Men 97 is like a soothing balm.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
The comic is out this week, man. So, hell yeah.
Oh, shit.
Manny, anything else? I'm sorry, I derailed.
No, dude. 9-panel grid for absolutely. I meant every word I said on my stream on Sunday when I said, I've been doing this for almost 8 years now. And he comes out the gate.
Yeah,
it makes me want to be a better human being. Like he's so good, effortless. That he's got this.
He just pisses me off, man. He's like
Dude.
bad jazz, bro. He's
Yeah.
like
his voice.
Yes.
His voice, like Verno's got that amazing.
Let's start rumors. I heard that Eric, the Stash, is on heroin. Hot heroin.
Black tar.
Oh.
And I think that he's just being nice to these fucking creators to gain access. I'm going to use the shit that was thrown at me against Eric. That's what I'm going to do.
Shit'll backfire. Everybody will just think he's cooler.
Oh, dude. But no, the deep, rich tones to his fucking voice, that's just mean. That's just mean. I'm listening to my tinny ass now as I'm editing. Like,
Dude,
this some
He needs to crank the volume up a little bit, though.
Yeah, this
I watched it on my
NPR
phone,
motherfucker.
man, so I need that volume up a little bit, E.
Oh, dude.
I hate you. You're better at it than me. I hate you.
I watched his gorgeous ass on fucking 75-inch fucking television upstairs. He came through beautifully.
Gorgeous.
Just
Beautiful
stunning.
looking man. One of the best,
He is.
most beautiful bald looking men I've ever seen. Bald looking, he's bald, right? But like, he's beautiful. Man, why am I making all these digs at Eric? What the fuck, man? I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I've won best comic review for 2 fucking years in a row. And him and Nick got me fucking scared, bro. Now Stu and Steph coming at me too, man. I can't handle this shit, man.
Nah, dude, we're
I
still
can't
letting your son E. He's a jackass. Well spoken and well produced. Like, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that. Your first YouTube video looking fucking great. Fuck you.
Get out of here.
I appreciate the modesty Stu goes for, but I'm amazing in everything I do. I just want to throw that out there real quick.
Amen, brother. Amen.
We love you, Eric. We really do. But fuck you, man. Like, you're making it harder for the rest of us. Anyway, so I'm just kidding. We all begged him, start a YouTube channel. He does. We're all like, dude, you're too good. Stop.
Jackass. Yeah.
Be
Yeah, playing the jazz. He listens to jazz right before he does every show.
Amen.
Yeah.
Secret
That's
sauce.
what it is. Anyway, fuck, he's gonna have to come to a monthly review at some point. So Steph, you should come to a monthly review soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will. I gotta up my monthly game. You guys make it look easy, and it's not.
Bro,
but
Bueller can do that
I
reading
will,
one comic a
hop on
month,
one of
man. You
these.
can do it.
And Bueller didn't even read a regular ass
What's
comic that came out that month. He read.
Bueller would be like, my favorite comic this month was Amazing Fantasy 15. I read it. Hell yeah. All right. So this week, yes, we got the monthly review. That's Thursday night. After that show, check me out on Blood Splatter Chatter for Black Swan, for Possession. On the finale of March Madness, Manny's going to be dropping his Ghost Rider Spectre, and we have Demons review. Check out Go Figure reviews. They're doing Nightcrawler, Executioner.
Man,
I can't wait for the Dance and
Executioner's so
Jubilee figure
cold.
to come out. And then we got I Want You to Read Comics. Check out the conversation going on right now over at the EXP. Our good friends. And go sub up Eric. He's good.
He's aight. He's aight.
All right, we're dipping out, y'all. Thank you so much. This is the end of March Madness for us. Cats, next week.
That's
Y'all ready?
awesome, man.
Oh,
What a
yeah.
great thumbnail, though. I really put that together well, I
Yeah,
think,
that's
man.
cool.
You did.
Yeah.
I
Beautiful.
basically did really good at cropping and overlaying an image and then hitting shadow effect. Like it was really like I was like top notch with that, man. I did a really good job. I make all of our PCP movie night thumbnails. Some people thought it was Mike. I don't want anybody to, because I like Link, I'm fucking badass at what I do too. Right. So like, I made those thumbnails, it's really easy. I just, find the most easy fucking image on YouTube or on Google to find. And then you put the logo over it and you just add a drop effect. And it's great. Like nice little drop shadow.
You're an artist.
All right. Love you guys. Have a good one. Don't go too crazy. And jazz is okay. If you
Weird
like it, if you don't
stretch.
like it, it's fine. Yeah, weird stretch.
Jazz rules.
Just sucks. Just.